Now moving on to the performance of both these phones. Now this is actually quite confusing, it all depends on what version of the phone you get. So both these phones come with anywhere from 4GB to 8GB of RAM, and different versions of these phones come with different processors, but there really hasn't been much change between the generations. What I mean by this is if you get the 4G variant of either the A17 or A16, these both come with the exact same processor, the MediaTek Helio G99. This is a fairly competent 8-core entry-level chip, but it has been around for a couple of years. On the other hand, if you get the 5G version of either the A17 or A16, this comes with the Exynos 1330, which is also an 8-core chip, but performs about 10% faster than the G99 and is slightly more power efficient. In day-to-day usage, I've not really noticed much of a difference in terms of the performance. My A16 is the 4G version that comes with the Helio G99, whereas my A17 is the 5G version with the Exynos 1330, and as you can see, not a huge difference. They both trade blows and neither of them feel slow in day-to-day activities, and multitasking on both these phones is pretty good. Even though my A16 is only the 4GB version and my A17 is the 6GB version, I didn't notice a massive difference in terms of multitasking. When it comes to gaming, both perform very well. I started off by testing out Minecraft, which ran perfectly on both devices. I then jumped into Asphalt Legends, which ran okay, a few stutters here and there, but generally pretty good. And finally some Call of Duty Mobile, which ran perfectly on both devices, very minimal stutter. So in the games that I tested, the performance between both these devices was very similar, and it would be even more similar if I was testing a 5G version versus a 5G version, or a 4G version versus a 4G version, because then they would have the same chipset. I then decided to run Geekbench 6 on both these devices, and surprisingly, the A17 with its Exynos 1330 performed 20% better in single core with a score of 976, and about 10% better in multi-core with a score of 2229.